Welcome to the Virtuous Voices podcast. I'm your host, Bleach Streaks, and today we're going to be interviewing with Sushi Ferret. Definitely a photographer, an amazing dancer, and also an inspiration to all of us, because we know how Sushi Ferret is. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. If you guys have not shared it, give the follow to everyone out that should be hearing this podcast if you can, with the lovely Sushi Ferret. How you been, Sushi? I haven't spoke to you for a while. It's been a while.
I've been good. Yourself?
Just getting there. I just actually popped open a Prime energy drink. First time ever drinking Prime. That's insane. This is not sponsored by Logan Paul. This is the virtual mail of Logan. It's so stupid.
Never tried it before.
Never tried it? Well, it's very interesting. I never had a chance to try it till just now. But anyway, enough about that. How you been? How's it going? How's the photography work? How's the DJ stuff?
I've been good. I recently played a set at Static, which is very fun.
Oh, man.
Photography. I've been trying to do more VR photography just because I find it really fun and interesting.
Hell yeah. What brings you this inspiration with photography? Was it a passion like you've done a long time ago, or is it just in VR?
Oh yeah, before all this, I was still like a professional photographer in real life, and still am.
Hell yeah, let's go, photography gang. Let's fucking go. So what inspired you into bringing your photography life together? Into what'd you do? Like, what kind of portraits, landscapes, drone shots? Like, what is it? Give me the whole shebang.
So I originally started out IRL with cosplay photography. I started doing photos with I had this a little Olympus point and shoot that I had, and I would take vacation photos with it. And all my friends and family would be like, "Wow, you take really good vacation photos." And I'd be like, "Yeah, all right." And I started pushing a little bit more, and then when I was a teenager, I asked for a Nikon DSLR for Christmas.
Yes,
and yeah. I got that, and I started doing cosplay photo shoots for $5 a shoot, something like that.
Let's go. You go to anime conventions. There you go. You get the scoop. You get the scoop for it now. That's good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So when you brought that photography game into it, where are you at right now? What do you with your photography in the IRL world of what do you still do cosplay photography, or did you upgrade to like now you do more than cosplay photography?
So these days I've actually slowly started to take a step back from photography as a profession, just because it was getting to the point where I was making good money, but I would have to put a lot of shoots on the table, and it would just stress me out so much that it was just ruining the passion for me.
Yeah, that's how mine did too. I kind of just led on to where is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that I really want to achieve on my goal? Of course it is. But from all of us together as one, we are here to get inspired, and the last thing I want to do is make myself worn out because of just something I love to do. And at the end of the day, we're always here to do side hustles and side gigs, make it feel like it's inspiring and fun, to bring that inspiration. And I feel like sometimes for me, I brought my inspiration to making money, which I thought that was the inspiration, but it really wasn't. It kind of felt like I was because I don't know. To me, it feels like sometimes photography, when you're doing it for fun, you're like, yeah, fuck it. I love to show off my work, and it feels good because you're like, oh, it's so much fun, you get to feel like you're just taking crazy shots, and it's great because you have so much free space that you could take photo shoots, and you feel good about it because you're not looking for a profession for you could be professional, but it just feels good when you actually are doing something that's fun to you. And that's how it feels for me too as well. And that's really cool to see that bringing that passion to what you want to do with your camera and stuff. And how long you've been doing photography for?
I want to say I started back in like 2015 or so.
2015. Oh man, that's so cool. I think, yeah, that. Oh my god, that's so much fun. I remember those photography days too. Those are a blast. Like, what was like your favorite? Explain to me one of your photo shoots that you love to do.
Oh man, let's see. That's a big one actually, because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Uh oh, okay. So this is more of a recent one of mine. It's not really necessarily a photo shoot in like the more traditional sense, but over the pandemic, I picked up astrophotography, which is
Oh,
photographing stars, deep space objects, stuff like
yeah.
that. And that was like a whole new avenue for me
Ooh, yeah, I love
because
it. I love it.
yeah, like at this point I was already, I'd been used to doing photography professionally, but this was like every rule that I knew was being turned on its head. It was just a completely new
Yeah,
avenue on
definitely
how
a
to do
new
this
avenue.
thing that I've been doing for years. And I remember one of my favorite shoots was I went and I photographed the Andromeda galaxy.
Oh,
And Andromeda is the closest galaxy to us at like crisp like 2 million light years away or something like
right,
that.
right, pretty much. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's very big in the night sky. And I had been working on it. I had gotten like a little tiny speck of it at one time, and I got a little bit more and a little bit more. And then one night I had like driven out to the state park. It was super cold, super dark, and I was out there for like a handful of hours
Oh yeah,
just
for sure. Just
imaging this.
shooting away. Oh, it's so much
Yeah.
fun. So good.
And I got all the shots that I needed, and I would take all the data from the shots and stack them into one really thick file.
Oh yeah,
And
for
there's this
sure.
moment of like, oh, how's it going to turn out? How's it going to turn out? Because you're like, you're at home,
Right.
you have like 5 hours worth of shots that you
Oh
are
yeah.
stacking together and pulling the data from, and you're like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. It could be awful.
Could be
But
awful.
then I got the final image and I started editing it, and I saw this beautiful, beautiful shot of the galaxy come up.
Ooh,
And I was like, oh
that's
my God,
fun.
like
You
it
you
feels
expected it
so
now.
good.
Feels good when you worked 5 hours for that one photo, and now it's like
Yeah.
it's here. And the time that you took the photography of going out and getting that moment of just taking the time that you think is right and enjoying it, is that your side of it. It's just enjoying what's around you, and especially with the stars and stuff, no one's gonna see that from your perspective until you realize that you just photo shooted a miracle's work of like inspiration to some people. As photography is definitely a passionate subject that I could be like going on for, and personally, like, that must be a proud work. You must have that like fucking wallpapered or somewhere mantled somewhere, because that sounds like it's a big
Yeah,
passion for
it's
you.
it's definitely one of those things of like, you know, I wasn't really making any money from astrophotography. I wasn't looking to either. So it's like, wow, I put all this effort into just one picture, and I didn't even know if it was going to turn out well. And then it turns out
It turns out
beautifully,
fucking amazing. That's so cool.
right?
That is so good. Like, I love hearing that, because I have a whole room of photography of like people,
Oh,
and oh my god, I could go on for
nice.
this dude for so long. I need to send you all the photos of it. But with that being said, what brought you into VR with your photography skills and your DJ skills as well?
So I guess what brought me into VR first was what brought a lot of people in. I feel like the pandemic.
The pandemic.
It
Okay, yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
2020. I needed social interaction that was
For
something more than
sure.
just Discord.
Discord, for sure.
And so I grabbed a Quest, and I had like poked around a little bit, but it didn't really quite click for me. I'd even been VR chat on desktop before this, back in like
Right,
the
right.
Uganda Knuckles era of
Oh, of
things.
course,
But
everyone's been there. Yeah, that's where it's at though. That's how you start sometimes, and it's
yeah, and I was like,
yeah.
this is neat, but like I don't really, it's like okay, it's cool
Yeah,
for a little bit, but then it wears off. And then I was like, oh, there's cool people here.
there's
I
cool
started
people
making some
here.
friends, and I'm like, okay, well, I love hanging out with these friends. Now I have a reason to come back.
Right.
And from there, I just kept getting on, until I saw Straz's video
Straz.
on
Yes,
the rave
Straz.
scene, and I was like,
Yes.
"What? There's raves
Yo.
here? There's like a whole music scene?" Because I'd like been into music before in my life too, and so this is something that like really appealed to me. And I was like, "Oh, we
Exactly.
have to do this now. We have to try this." And I sort of like speed ran
Oh
the
fuck.
music scene in like one night. Whereas like in the afternoon, I went to I think it was Vibe Tribe in the EU scene.
Vibe
I went to Vibe Tribe,
Tribe.
and
Yes.
then that night on North American time, I went to Loner, and then I stayed
Loner's a good
all the
one.
way up until I went to Ghost Club in the morning.
Oh my god. I've actually never been to Ghost Club. What's funny enough, I've actually seen the
Oh, you have
venue.
to.
I have to. I've never been. What's funny about that is Kesare actually showed me the venue before it opens. I mean, before it opens, as in before it starts. And I'm like, holy shit, this is a whole thing that I'm never probably ever gonna get into, and that actually happened. Never happened for me, but like
It's
that's
tough getting
insane.
there as like anyone on North American time, but
I don't hear as
I
much
definitely
of it
recommend it.
as that much anymore because it's just I hear so many things about Ghost Club and I hear one thing, I hear another, and it's not gonna lie, I've only heard it less now because I've heard so many other pop-ups going on, and 6 a.m. things are just I don't hear it as much. But
Yeah, I think that's more of like a we're on the North American side.
yeah. Plus,
Like
I'm pretty
every
sure.
time I pop over to the Japanese side, it's like going off, but
Oh
you
fuck.
know, very rarely do I get to experience that, and very rarely do a lot of people on our side get to experience
Right.
that.
Exactly. Because you we're in the North American, they're in the North American side, and we're over here in the US side, and it's just, or I'm in the Pacific side, and it's just totally just flipped. Like, yep, your 6
Yeah,
a.m. is
I
your 6 p.m. my 6 a.m. Totally.
yeah, like I gotta get up at like 7 a.m. or something for Ghost Club, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I usually have to like make a whole thing out of it. Like I gotta set a date, be like, all right, we're gonna be up at this time on this
Right.
day.
You got to get scheduled for that shit because that's what draws the attention. So, um, that's interesting. So, when you saw Straz's video, you got it incorporated into the rave scene, and when you brought yourself to the rave scene, what was your first club?
First club, I think it was that Vibe Tribe. Yeah,
Vibe
Vibe
Tribe,
Tribe was
Vibe
my
Tribe.
first one.
And when you went to Vibe Tribe, how was it? How was your first experience ever joining in a club?
It was really cool.
It was really
Like
cool.
just being this like, oh, there's like actual live music. There's like cool lights and stuff. Like it's such a just vast jump from like the regular like public worlds that I was used to at the
Right,
time.
right. Yeah, because that way you're actually putting in a lot of like understanding of what an actual rave is versus a VR rave, and you're like, this is not what it seems to be from a virtual reality rave to a real one. Because when you bring your attention to like you have to pay for shit versus you don't have to pay anything in here, it's such a
Yeah.
throwaway. Like, man, I can save up money and go to a rave scene. Let's go. That's kind of the whole thing. What's so cool about it, but also the experience of when you got into the rave scene of seeing actual people play live. It's like, wait, you don't have to
Yeah.
pay money for this shit. This is so sick. It feels like I'm like going in for free, and that's what it actually is. You go in for free. We're all here to enjoy ourselves, especially when we're in this
Yeah,
rave scene
like
too.
that's another thing is so I tried to get into the IRL rave scene a few times before in the past, but it never really quite clicked with me for a variety of reasons. One is like a lot of the times the music just wasn't really to my taste. That's a personal thing.
Right.
And very rarely did I find a show that I was like, ooh, this is like really good.
Like
And
you
when I
kind of
did,
just expecting
then
what you're thinking of. They're just going.
yeah, and there's also, with IRL raves, like, okay, if it's something really big, then like, okay, I gotta save up money for
You gotta save up
this, or
money
like
for this. You
deal
gotta
with
take a
travel
trip,
plans, or
travel
even if it's
plans.
something like yeah, it feels, even if it was more like an underground show, right? That's like
Right.
local to where I am.
It's still like
It's still
taking
like,
time.
yeah, I gotta
And
go out. I have to worry about what's my transportation, yada yada yada.
yeah,
And you
that's
may
kind of the
put in all that
drawback
effort, and
sometimes.
then you're like, the music still wasn't really that good. Sometimes it's
Right, right.
great,
Sometimes it's great. Like
but like
let's
if
think
it's
about that
not
one hit
good,
wonder.
then it's like you dedicated all this effort, and you're like,
Right.
okay,
It's like damn, like it's kind of that saying that, there's always events. It's kind of that saying where you go to every event you want, but it's like, well, what about the events I actually enjoy with my friends that will actually be there with me, every time?
yeah,
And that's what's so great about this is you're going to these events that you're actually seeing a lot of the same people. And it's nothing bad.
yeah.
It's more of just
That's
the
another thing is
community.
like I feel like I have a lot of friends in this community now as well, so I get to experience good music with good people, and it's in the comfort of my own home. Obviously,
Right.
there are some things that I just can't fully replace, but for me, who values music and company like the most, it's a pretty good deal for me.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is. It's a great deal because, you're saving money, you're saving time, and also you're in the safe place of your home. Like, that's a shoe-in for everything. And, all you just need is probably a Quest headset, a good computer, and then, like, at least, like, if you can run a laptop, if you can run a PC with a Quest headset, you'll be fine. Just know that, like, you're here to bring yourself into the rave scene of just enjoyment. Even though you might be a half body, it doesn't really matter. It's a matter about how you can bring yourself into the community around you that other people are trying to enjoy themselves from from the perspective of you just enjoying itself literally. Not because
Yeah.
of how aesthetically pleasing you are, because you look really great. Otherwise, like it's more about the. I mean, of course, the fashion for sure. The fashion is definitely something I would want to talk about, but it's more of also of how you as an individual are here enjoying yourself with all of us together, and that's what's matter. That's the matter of what is great about this is you are coming into this game with full potential of just you're coming in to enjoy yourself with people around you that are here
Yeah.
to do the same. And that's what's great about this is you are here to bring that to the table, especially with pictures and new music. And you know what? The great thing about it, you have the volume button and also the block button if you don't like people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
your whole night can be ruined
You
IRL because of like
yeah.
one asshole
One
that you just
asshole.
gotta deal with. Like it's like, okay, let's say I go to like a rave IRL, right? And there's some
Mhm.
asshole there. All right, my
Right, right, right.
options are either I can stay at this event and I just
Right.
gotta fucking deal with him, or I
Oh,
can
yeah.
leave the event, go to another one, but then I'm having to like give up my space in order to just be okay.
Right, like you don't know what could happen at any given point in every given time. It's something that's kind of like you're setting yourself up to be safe versus you trying to feel like you're uncomfortable because that's where like the rave scene in VR is something that I would want to support as much as we can. Some people are cringed about it because they're like, "Oh, this is just a bunch of nerds in this game." It's like, well, there's a bunch of nerds in this game, but that want to give you a good time on trying to make a conversation or at least conversate on trying to make it a community event that could possibly give you an IRL rave scene. Shelter. Anyway,
Yeah, like
yeah,
like it's one of those things where it's like VR is not for everyone. I
it's
get
not
that,
for
and VR
everyone.
chat's not going to be for everyone.
It's not
That's
going
totally
to.
fine. I get that, but if you are someone who is into music or just like community spaces like this, I really recommend at least giving it a shot
At
if you
least,
can, if you have the means
yeah.
to.
If you have the means to, for sure. Like I've had so many people tell me all the time, like, "Oh, VR, I didn't have a good experience in it," and it's like, bro, listen, you need to find the right people. Not because you went to a meme with Yukon and Knuck or Kermit the Frog or some shit. You need to find your kind of way of who you think you are as an individual to bring yourself into the music scene or a DJ. I want to become a DJ. You could be. This is what's great. I'll tell you this now. If you wanted to become a DJ, the opportunities are here. Straight up facts. Straight up facts with Sushi. She knows it for sure. She became a DJ. Or have you ever became a DJ before this?
That's true.
That's true. Like, and all it took was the time and effort that you took and dedication, and boom, you're here with all these other DJs. That's the great thing about this. And one side of it is like, oh, I have to spend money on a quest. And it's like, well, that's only one thing. Or go on desktop mode, But from
that's still like, that can be a lot of money for some people, which is totally understandable. Like, quest is like, cheap in the grand scheme of things, of being like, it's like a console or something. But not everyone can afford that, and not everyone can afford a gaming PC either.
Exactly.
So there is definitely this, like, I feel like there's a pretty high, like, barrier of entry in that sense for some people. But once you get over that barrier, it's a lot easier. It's just a very steep barrier.
Yeah, it is definitely a steep barrier. I'm on a Quest headset right now, with full body tracking. But with all of us together, we all start somewhere. I mean, tell you this, I've never had a gaming computer until last year. I've only ran my fucking my Xbox 360 for like however many years, and just ran off that and just hung out and just went on games every day. And it's kind of like, well, shit. Now I know the other side of it, of becoming a real gamer. And now I figured out that, like, there's more than just the Xbox. There's more to it, because at the end of the day, my chance of actually saving money and getting a gaming laptop and upgrading to a gaming PC was probably one of the most amazing things, because I never knew of how far I went from purchasing from there to upgrade my PC so fast to where I wanted to make VR content worthwhile and wanted to make. I've never thought I would ever get here. I'd never thought I would ever own a gaming PC. And I'm here enjoying my friends. And personally, this is like probably one of the best experiences I've ever had, with hanging out with homies that I got a chance to meet up with, especially you. And never thought in my life I would ever feel like appreciative and actually like feel good that people in this community feel like we're all here as a community, and to make us feel welcome, that homies are here in the social environment, to be that we're just nerds trying to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the big thing, is we're all here trying to have a good time and give ourselves an experience of friendships, and possibly like something bigger than that and greater than that. And like, there's way more to this reality, and especially in virtual reality, this is something that's beyond everyone's stand, of just taking the leap of just like you said, taking one step, taking on that one thing. Maybe go check out VR Raves. You never know what you're gonna find, and that's something to look forward to. Is maybe this will be of Raves. Like, there's just, I'm only predicting what I think of, but like, there's probably more to it. But I know, like, we're definitely in something that we're trying to create, and I feel like we will be prepared for it. I got my avatar ready. I'm ready to go to the I'm sorry. Ready to go to the rave scene, ready to go. But tell me, okay, so let me ask you this. How much time do we have left? We're almost 30 minutes in. All right, I'm gonna ask you more questions, and we should be good.
Okay.
Sorry, I was talking a lot. So
You're good.
Let me ask you this. So, how is your time? No, tell me a little bit about ShelterCon. How was it? How was Shelter? What is Shelter to you?
Oh man, ShelterCon was absolutely amazing. It's probably one of my favorite events of that year, if not just my favorite.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
2TD and everyone did such a good job organizing it. It was a great venue. The venue staff at Neophoric were extremely welcoming. and of course, getting to see all your friends, like
Hell yeah.
these people that you've spent so much time
So
with on
much
here,
time with the
getting to
VR.
just see them and hug
Yeah.
them in person.
It's like, you're
They're
not
like,
an anime waifu. What do you mean? That's great though. It's like, whoa,
my therapist was wrong. The anime girls are real.
the anime girls are real. But that's awesome. That's awesome to kind of, oh man, that was such a fun event. I could talk about it for hours. But like, what made you with that night? And guys, real quick, I forgot to say this. If you guys are new to this, ShelterCon pretty much directed. There was TwitchCon happening, and there was ShelterCon happening. Pretty much, ShelterCon was like, "Hey, we're gonna put this date with everyone meeting up at this location." And I guess they did is Korean barbecue. They pretty much planned out to where like everything was structured to the point where everyone can enjoy their night. And so they did. They had a coordination of event, and everything happened. It went smoothly. Everyone enjoyed their night, and it was a community event happening that really brought in that kind of like bonding moment. And what do you think that what do you think from your perspective? Was there something that happened throughout that night that you felt like good about, that seeing your, I know it's seeing your friends, but like with what I'm trying to say is ShelterCon, was Shelter something that you feel inspired? Because ShelterCon's not just a VR chat event. It's a community, like what would you say?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like I definitely say like one of the big things that made it so enjoyable for me was, it felt like it felt like just a giant party with all my best friends.
That's definitely
That's
something
the best way to describe it.
so good. It really
I
did
have
though.
like a very yeah, I have a very specific memory of
Ooh.
2TD and everyone. They had like an Airbnb that was right next door to the venue.
Oh shit.
And I remember sitting outside there, and everyone's chilling, having a good time. It was late into the night, and I was sitting in a chair, and I sort of like started to doze off a little bit.
Oh man.
And as I was coming back through, as I was coming to again, my eyes are closed, and I'm waking up, and I hear all my friends' voices. And I am picturing their avatars,
Oh
and then
my
I wake up and they're
God.
all just standing around
Just
me,
standing around
and
you.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy.
It's so good.
I'm so fucking
It's
happy
so
right now.
fucking awesome. That's you know, if it's something to remember someone by, either an avatar or maybe somebody you think is really unique from your friends, however shape or form, you will remember them as with their personalities. And with those personalities,
Yeah.
they might not have the big honka-jonka-donkas. They have a big heart. They have a big voice and a big heart that remembers everyone, especially for you. All you listeners are listening to this, is you have to listen and understand this VR chat rave scene has a lot of memories, and a lot of memories come to a lot of these events. And what Sushi experienced was experienced an enjoyment of their friends, that from the voices from them, she felt amazed. And it warms my heart to see that like people like this should understand like VR chat's not just a meme parade. It's a community that brings people together, and that is something that is so fucking cool to hear, because it just warms my heart, because I was through that too. When I knew everyone, when I saw everyone, I didn't see everyone, but when I had a chance to see like the homies were here, I was just like tearing up, because I've never had friends like that IRL, because they kind of just threw me as like a bag full of like garbage everywhere, and I was just like, well, this is how I'm gonna live? Hell no. I want better friends and a better life of enjoying people that I can be around. And Sushi happened to be one of them. And I'm fucking glad that I got a chance to meet you, dude. It was so cool.
I love you, friend.
I love you too. It was awesome. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys want to listen to the rest of this podcast with Sushi, Ferret, and I, link down in the description. Go on the Patreon. See you guys later.